What's up, world? This is your boy Kamani Anku. And did you know black and brown people across the world are reconnecting to their roots and redefining their relationships to the land by gardening and farming? And Black Gardener Talk is dedicated to sharing those voices to inspire all people of color and maybe even some that don't look like us to grow by any means necessary. But sometimes we just need our own safe space to talk. All right. Good morning. I'm Kamani Anku, and this is Black Gardener Talk. And my guest today is Erica Plants. Let's get it popping, y'all. Wake up. It's time to wake up. All right. It's time to wake up. Hey, friends. Hey. Lots of people coming in the room. I'm going to add Erica in a second. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope everybody is doing okay. Erica, let's see what's going on. Thank y'all for joining. It's going to be a great morning. Hey,
Good morning.
hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let me adjust my camera a little bit.
Let me back mine up too. I don't need people all up in my nose. And
What's
today
going
we're
on with you?
gardening under the influence of wine. Look.
Oh yeah, can you? We can't hear you that well. Can you?
Can you hear me?
Bring
Okay,
your
wait.
microphone
Let
up.
me see.
So I'm sorry.
Tell me if you can hear me now.
We can hear you. It's still kind of vague.
Hold on. Let me go get my converter real fast.
Okay, hold on real tight, y'all. But this is Erica Plant Gardening Under Influence. She's going to drop some knowledge on us this morning. It's going to be a great show. So go and pass this out. Share this to everyone. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. And then tomorrow, I'm back tomorrow again with Andre the Farmer. Andre the Farmer is going to be here dropping some gems as well. And then next week, let me roll with the lineup. Farmer Brown, the MC. This guy is like a MC and a farmer all thrown in one. And then coming up on the last day of February or the last Saturday of February is going to be Ronnie Webb. He's from DC. I've been trying to connect with this guy for a minute. One of my good friends wanted me to connect with him. So we finally connected. So we're going to be on, that's going to be on February 26th. February 19th is Farmer Brown, the MC. And then all March is all women gardeners every day. Women farmers, women gardeners, homesteaders. Yeah, it's going to be incredible. And then we go into April, and then we go into May, and then we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back probably around like September. But hold on. Erica had to go get her mic or something so we can hear her better. But what's going on with people today? What are you growing? What are you hoping to grow this spring? Put it in the comments. All right. Here she goes. She's back. But throw what you're growing this spring.
Yes.
Okay. What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining again. This is going to be a great show, so hold on. This lady is phenomenal. She is a wealth of knowledge. She has so much knowledge. I'll be looking on her page for inspiration.
So the piece is gone. Can you hear me now? I'll just talk loud. Can you hear me or no?
We can hear you. It's just still a little low, but...
Please, hold on. This is crazy. I thought I brought it up with me. This is when ADHD shows up.
Yes. I had some technical difficulties as well this morning.
It's not that. I just switched to this iPhone 13, and it doesn't have the mic thingy. You have to get the converter thing, and it's so
Oh, yeah.
it's so small. And I must have lost it between.
Can y'all hear?
Okay, I'm good. I'm just gonna have to just talk loud.
Okay, cool.
Is it still low, or can y'all hear me?
They can hear you.
Okay.
What is your first memories of gardening? Let's get it popping right off the bat like that, and then we're gonna get deep.
My first memory of gardening was planting the stuff in the plastic cups in 2019. I had never done gardening before then. I knew nothing about it. So that was my first memory. And then I just went to YouTube University, learned, and because I'm a genius, I went into peer-reviewed journals and started studying.
Oh, that's what's up. So you taught yourself gardening. through YouTube University. How was that? What videos did you watch? And yeah, what videos did you watch?
I watched everything back then. I could not find anybody black. I was struggling back then. Now I can go on there and see people. But I watched everything and anything. But then I realized that most of the stuff, they were all regurgitating the same information. They all had the same recommendation. And so I ended up doing a lot of gardening experiments that first year that fared me well. And it's completely different than anything I could ever find on House or YouTube or Reddit or anywhere. So I ended up with a whole knowledge, but I watched everything from Gary to not really M.I. Gardner, but the new me, the Australian guy. I can't think of his name right now, but
Okay.
he was the one that showed me high impact gardening, because when I first started, I did all that proper spacing they talked about. Then I realized I had a whole lot of soil real estate left, and I was very upset about it, because why is all this soil still open? And if I properly spaced it, and I couldn't get that same kind of harvest that I really wanted. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't really space mine out though.
Me
That's the
neither.
crazy. I just throw the seeds in there, and whatever grows, grows. If it's wild, it's wild. If it's not, it's not.
Nature
You know.
gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
Then,
they're gonna figure it out.
nature
Yeah,
never
they're gonna.
says, ooh, it's not properly spaced. Let me move that a little. It just falls and it grows well.
And just so you know, your audio is good. It's not your phone. I'm
Oh,
gonna say it's operator error on my end.
I was like, this is a new phone. What did I do wrong? I
So
will break this phone in
don't
4
be
months.
alarmed. It is not your phone. It was my phone. I did not have my audio up on the
Okay.
phone. Even though I got this fancy microphone, I still did not have the audio up on the phone, so I could not hear you. But let's move on.
I told him it's
It's a
gonna be a
day,
lot of
it's a
smiling.
day, and that's my fault. Please forgive me. Please forgive me.
No problem. But how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm actually doing well. I have these hot lights on. You know, I try to do it up when I try to go live. I got these lights. I'm burning up. Um, I just turned the fan on, so I can cool off.
Look,
So,
listen, I had to shift mine. I couldn't do the light today because, like you said, it's kind of warm. So I just moved all my plants behind me for a cute little backdrop so I could face the window.
hold on. We got some stroll. We got some. There's always got to be one, right?
Mhm.
We we had a troll.
Oh, we have a troll?
Yeah, we had a troll. I blocked them though.
Oh, you're nice.
Yeah. Um.
I'm flattered. We're in troll status.
Yeah, we had troll status. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's
Hey.
what's up. That's my first troll.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So that means I made it, right?
We made it.
We have made it. We have come this far and made it. But let's get
Listen,
back into the conversation.
we're big timing now.
We big timing. Well, is Gardner under influence? I mean, hey, we got the superstar in the house. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Okay.
know who that troll was talking to, Black Gardner. I mean, Black Girl Green Thumb. But I mean, we officially made it when we have our first trolls, or I had my
Oh,
first.
Black Girl Green Thumb is actually is actually pretty solid, I thought. Maybe
No,
this is the
that
word.
wasn't her. It was someone
Oh,
else.
oh, okay. I was like, I like her. What
Yeah.
happened
No,
today?
that's my girl. We both Aries. We know what's up. You know,
Oh
block, block,
man,
block.
I'm flattered though.
Yeah, I'm flattered. I mean, at first I was like, is that really the comment? Who said that? And then I noticed it was a troll. Because it was like OnlyFans or something crazy, crazy.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. But what was your where was your first garden and what did you grow?
My first garden was in my backyard in a swimming pool because listen, I wanted to go. I kept saying, I'm gonna start a garden. I'm gonna start a garden. Start me a garden. But I never did because every time I went to look at it, everybody made it seem like it was so expensive and so inaccessible. And so the day that Lowe's had that special, I always tell people when they were like, send your text message in, you can win $500 to $500. Some people were posting on Facebook like, oh, I won 100, but you had to use it that day. And halfway through the day, it hit me like, everybody give me your codes. If you're not going, you don't want to go, you're not going to spend it, you got to today, run them to me. My friends went and secured the text. I ended up with like $150. I bought soils, bag after bag, seeds. I just kept walking in the store. I was determined. But when I got to the wood part, and it was like, oh, I'm buying this myself. I went over there to the wood department and they discouraged the hell out of me. Well, this is chemically treated. Oh, that's not going to last but a year. And this, that. And you don't have a plan for me to build it. So I just got desperate. I kept thinking and I finally put it in a pool. Cut out the bottom of the pool, laid down the little newspaper and cardboard like I saw on YouTube, went from there. And in that garden, I had corn, lemon cucumbers.
Wow.
I had a few things, but yeah, I learned about the squash bug early on in life because of the lemon. I'm like, this vine went crazy. It took over the whole pool, but I only got 2 cucumbers.
No.
Like I kept seeing them, but they kept succumbing. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to do more Epsom salt. Later on, realized it was that damn bug. It was killing it and sucking out all the stuff. And that was my introduction to pests. It found me so fast for something that was not growing.
That's what's up. So this was a baby pool, correct?
This one was the big inflated, and I don't recommend the soft plastic, y'all, because it is more prone to leach now. I learned from growing. But this was like an inflated 8x10, like the little Intex $20 pool. So it was like 4 feet deep. Between Duke, when we rescued him and all, baby, that pool was deflated in a minute. It was, but we grew so much in them 2-3 inches that was left in it because that was my other lesson. I didn't realize how much soil costs.
Yes, that's genius though, to grow in a swimming pool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
So
had to
people
make do.
do what you got to do. If it's a pool, a tire, a bucket, do it.
Yes. I always tell people, if you're going to do a tire, put your flowers in it if you can versus the other stuff. Because you don't want the oil and everything else absorbed from it leaching into it.
Yeah.
But if you got to, you figure out a way. I don't care if it's a basket, an Easter bucket. Kid stuff has to be BPA free because it leaches on. Use their little clearance buckets after the holiday. Valentine's Day is coming up. Go get them baskets the next day.
Yeah, I would recommend that. Or even what is it, totes? Like I
Yeah.
work for a big box store, and so like right after Christmas, those totes are discounted really low.
Yeah.
Up until like probably like end of February. So get some totes if you can.
Right.
Yeah. What was some of the mistakes that you learned throughout this whole process while you've been growing, from the pool to now what you're doing?
People regurgitate the same information and they ain't research for themselves. And they act like they are schmees and experts at it when all they're all doing is repopulating and giving the same stuff over and over again. Go try for yourself. Try it several ways. What works for you won't work for me. We are all in different environments. And even if we're in the same zone, people don't realize there's a sunset zone too. So I was in an 8B in Washington, in Lacey, Washington. I was in an 8B because I'm a Houston girl. I'm in an 8B in Savannah. And in all those places, the sun hit different. The humidity is different. In Washington, the sun comes up at like 4 and goes down at 11 in the summer. So then you have to understand long day and short days. So one size does not fit all, period. Because even in my yard, I have microclimates, and that will affect things too.
I love that because I mean it's so true. I mean it's definitely so true. I'm in DC, Maryland, and I grow a whole bunch of stuff, and people was like, "You can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't grow pomegranates in Maryland. You
Yeah.
can't grow a dragon fruit." Well, I'm going to try it, and if I make it, I'm gonna show you
Yeah.
that I did it. You know, and I think,
Exactly.
and then I have some other people that's in my same area, and they can't grow anything, and I was like, but you got to check where your sun, where you put it at, where the pot is, you know, come
If
on
how
over
close it is to your house, because people don't
house.
realize that house gives you warmth. It's ways around it.
Oh yeah. It's one of the things that I did, not to take away from
No, you're
interviewing
fine.
you, but I built a what is it, like a sunscreen or a reflector type thing. So one side of my house does not get any sun. So I built this reflector that beams down onto the sun and then reflects onto that side of the house. And those greens and kale and everything grows crazy.
That's lit.
They grow better than where the sun is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know the other reason? Because it reflects, it actually keeps the bugs away. Because I'm learning about reflective mulch or space blankets, and that reflects up. So even the undercarriage is too bright for the insects to want to lay under there and lay their
Oh, see, I learned something today, y'all. I got my pen and paper, y'all. Get your pen and pad because I'm learning. I just saw something about a reflector and I just did it. I didn't even think about
Yeah,
any of that stuff. I just wanted to get some sun over there because it was a big space and it was an empty space and I needed a space to try to grow something. And I
right.
was like, let me use it and then I put that reflector. But now I know. So get
Yeah.
your pens, y'all. Share this out. Come back and watch it later. If you didn't get all the notes that you want to get, it's great. From mistakes to what was your first garden success?
My first success was my peppers, my banana peppers. That gave me confidence, y'all. After I grew the banana peppers, and that little plant went to, and it was just loaded, and I would harvest. And within a month, I had like another giant harvest. I started pickling them, making sauces. I started trying to make them. I'm a Texas girl, so we have like Kool-Aid pickles. I tried the Kool-Aid pickle them. It was a mess. That was a mess. But that was my first success that gave me the confidence to be like, you can do this. You can do this. That in my corn, shocking my corn. But yeah, that just took me off into a whole new realm.
Okay, what kind of Kool-Aid pickles did you make? Was it the
Okay, so like,
red? You know how we as black people, we don't call it flavors really. It's
yeah,
green,
yeah, I did
red,
green.
purple,
I did ice blue as it used to be called. What is it now? Blue rice raspberry.
blue.
Yeah, I love that flavor. So yeah, I had some blue banana peppers, y'all. I go back and pull the pictures up. I posted them things. I had staged them all cute. I thought I was doing so bad. I tried to get my buddy to come over and taste them. He was like, "Nah, I'm good." Run me the sweet ones, but don't run me those Kool-Aid pickles. Count me out. Um,
But those are big hits now. I mean, some of those major pickling companies are making those flavored pickles.
yeah, none of them
And
are great though to me.
yeah,
None of them
I
taste
mean
good.
the kids seem to like it. I don't think I would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You got to get best made pickle and twist that one. That's the one. You can't even get those right now if you're not in Texas.
Okay. Yeah. Um, this is fun. This is fun. What advice would you give a new gardener? Just because we got some people on now, some of them novice, some of them are just starting out this year. What advice would you give some new gardeners?
A first advice would be understand that gardening don't have to be that expensive. You have most times community resources like your public works might have free compost or free mulching. You don't have to fill every container to the top with soil. You can put straw or whatnot in the bottom and then put on top of that. That will fill it in. But that straw will actually break down into soil and give you more organic matter later on. But more so than that, be okay with failing. Gardening, just like everything else we do, is OJT. It's on the job training. Even if that first year you mess up and nothing goes right, you learn a lot of lessons from that. Every season I have learned something else, and it matters.
Yes, I agree. I mean, when I first started about 12 years ago, I I wouldn't say I had a failed mistake, but I grew strawberries because that's what I wanted to grow. My mom said you need to start a garden through some craziness that I was going through, and so I went to the store, got some strawberries, and I put them in the ground. And 6 months later, they were all around the house, all in the yard, everywhere.
Running everywhere, yeah.
They were everywhere. So I would say it was kind of like a mistake, but not a mistake. Um, but I eventually picked those out of the ground and put them in barrels now, and those same strawberries are growing
Yeah,
from
I tell
12
people that
years
all
ago.
the time. They're a secret weed.
hmm Yeah, I mean, they was taking over where I couldn't even grow anything else, and so I had to
Yeah,
really dig everything up and put them in barrels. But every now and then, that same little spot where I put them at, I see some
go
come up.
pop back up. Yeah, because of the
hmm
roots.
Yeah, that's crazy. Um, what are you currently planting now?
What am I not planning is a better question.
Because it's like
So,
it's still the winter time here.
okay, so it is going into the time where we bring our stuff out, and I'm currently planning all kinds of brassicas, trying to sneak in one last late harvest. And since it's in containers, I can move it out the shade as it gets a little warmer here. I am also starting, I have lots of lettuce going. Herbs like lemon balm and chives are going. Potatoes everywhere, everywhere. But I'm also planning several things for my national competition that will be announced on Wednesday. That, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be looking on your TikTok. I'm gonna be looking everywhere.
Listen, this is American Idol for gardeners, and I want y'all to know I want the big prize.
I hear you. Um, how has gardening changed you since you first started? I know you into the game, like you up for this award. How has it changed you?
Gardening has taught me to slow down. Gardening is a place where I've learned to heal a lot, mentally, spiritually. For my autism and my ADHD, it also has allowed me a place to be still when I'm overstimulated and practice grounding. Things that I wasn't even aware at first that I was doing. But I've just it's just been a whole healing process for me all the way around. Because usually with ADHD, you get a little bored, you try something new. The beauty of gardening is there's like me when I was teaching. There's no 2 days that are alike. There's no, every day I get to see a little growth. I get a little excitement. I learned something else. I've healed my sister's murder out there in the last year or two and several miscarriages. That is my safe space. I can go out there and cartwheel. Nobody's judging me. If I talk junk to them, I mean, the only drama in the garden is what insect is that? Is it a friend or a foe? I love it.
That's what's up. Yeah, I feel the same way. And someone puts gardening heals, and it
It
definitely heals.
does. That's
Uh,
why my nonprofit and my business is Plant and Heal.
let's talk about
Because
that.
you heal
Talk
your
about
body and all. Huh?
talk about it.
Okay, so my nonprofit is going to be urban agriculture. Mr. Andre that's coming on tomorrow has partnered as my proceeds from his shirt line, his permaculture life will be going towards this so that I can go out in the community and help other people learn how to grow on a personal level and access to it. But I believe planting and healing is like on so many levels. And I thought about this forever. And plan and heal to me is like Netflix and chill. So you plant, you heal your body, you heal your mind, you heal your spirit, all the way around. This is a whole thing. I even have a piece of knowing where my food comes from because of this. I grow medicine. And so Plant and Heal is the nonprofit and the business of Gardening Under the Influence LLC. The website will be live soon. And we'll be just out in the community helping and all. And at the same time, I'm going to be opening my store to be first. I was going to do CSA first, but it's going to be plant starts, fruit trees, and seeds, which I already have my line. And from there, I will take the land and buy it. This will all be EBT eligible. I'm going through the SNAP retailer benefit right now. From there, we will switch over to a CSA because CSAs, even though in theory they seem great, they are inaccessible to the low income. Who has $700-800 up front to pay for the whole season for produce? So this one will be exclusively starting off for military families and people on SNAP.
That is what's up. Y'all go get your snaps. If y'all got snap, go get it. Cause you can
Yes,
buy
come get some fruit trees.
seeds. You can buy fruit trees. You can buy all of that. I'm a big believer in snap. I was on snap at one point in
Yeah,
time. I'm sure some of us all been there at one point in
yeah,
time. But use that snap. I mean, that's how I got those strawberry plants.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that was
That's what
12
I
years
said.
ago, and now we're really starting to find out about Snap and using it. And we got to use it to our advantage. This is a safe space, so I can say sometimes those other people that don't look like us, they do it. They do it before we do it. And then we're like, oh, they did that. You know what I'm saying? But we
Yeah,
got to catch up to them. Let's do it. And speaking
yeah.
of CSA, I posted this week, Booker T. Watley was one of the first Black people who kind of invented that whole CSA system.
No
So
way.
yeah, so Black person that he actually wrote a book about it, how to make $100,000 farming, and then it actually turned into like what CSA is all about now. So
Yeah,
if anybody wants to read up on Booker T. Watley, go to my profile and click on it. It should be up there somewhere.
I'm
But
going.
that's good knowledge. Yeah, that's good knowledge. And then I just love what you're doing with your plant and heal. I mean, because I'm on that same level. My company is gardening and beats, but gardening and beats, both music and gardening, saved
Yeah,
my life. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And I want to heal the people too. One of my goals this summer or this spring is to go knock on every door in my neighborhood and give them a pack of seeds or start a plant. They could be able to choose whether they want seeds or they want to start a plant and then
yeah.
go from there. You know what I'm saying? I'll encourage them to get a bucket or put it in their front yard or put it in their backyard.
See,
So
and our community does that. Like in my HOA, like there's people who grow in their front yard over here. And once the lemons and oranges are harvested, people go around and share them. You need that kind of community, but it's not everywhere like that. So what you're doing is dope.
and you dope too.
You,
You more doper.
I disagree. Because, but when you said that time that you lost so much weight out in that garden, that resonated with me. Because that first fall, I was out in that garden, I lost 65 pounds on accident.
Mhm.
Accident. I wasn't even eating the food, y'all, because I didn't trust it still. I didn't tell my husband, my son. They looked at me recently when I told them something about the insects walking on it at first still wasn't with me. They were like, wait, so we were your guinea pigs? And I was like, no. I just had to ease into it. And once I got to my level of organic that insects in nature has an innate issue and knows not to eat certain things, while Americans can know McDonald's ain't aging and we'll eat that stuff still, it's not in us, that if the bugs don't want it, I don't want it. So
That's how I feel too. And so a couple years ago, the NAACP hit me up and asked me to help them start a community garden. And
mm-hmm.
so they wanted me to come on. So I was like, sure. So everybody that was a part of it was green except me. So I'm teaching everything. And so once the time to harvest stuff, there was thousands of bugs like on like all the stuff, like the greens, the mustard greens, and the people was like, we're not eating that. And I said, welcome to organic gardening. If the
Yeah,
bugs don't like it, you
count
that
me out.
yeah, help me out. You know, if the bugs love it, that means those things are good for us.
Yeah, yeah, for real, for real.
And people get so scared of like that stuff. But I told those people who started, welcome to the organic gardening world. This is what it is. It's going to be bugs all the time, and you just gotta work with them. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
can
because
be they can be a little harsh, but I mean, if you become friends with them, they'll help you out.
yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot from bugs and realized that they have their own natural, like, do you know plants talk to each other? And if a bug attacks one, they send out the AO and the other plants put up defenses that bring out scents to bring out the parasites to attack these bugs. Like, understanding that kind of stuff, realize that nature will have an answer for everything. There is balance in everything,
Oh yeah,
but they don't care. The bugs really don't care about us the way we think they do.
they don't. You either live with them or you don't live with
They
them.
don't care. They still minding their business and we running.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially like those aphids. Those aphids just drive me crazy. But hey,
Oh man.
they there. You know what I'm saying? What do? You fight with them, or you bring things in to help get rid of them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I think they
Right.
do bring a certain element to the garden sometimes because if they weren't there, you wouldn't have to fight so much or get out there and exercise. That's how I look at
That
it.
part. That part. That part.
You know what I'm saying? When I see them on my plum tree, I'm out there. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying?
Really to get on the plums? Like I just finally caught, other than like pepper seeds when I start them, I don't have aphids, but I caught some on my eggplant a few weeks ago, and I was just like, "How dare you? Like you outside too?"
Yes. I mean, I'll be out there. I'm like, I'm on it. As soon as I see, the first sign of aphids, most people don't know it's ants.
See, yeah, because of the sugar and the sweetness that they secrete that they track up, because
Mhm.
that's what I learned first. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're so
most people
right.
don't know that. But this past year, I did get like 3,000 ladybugs, and them ladybugs like tore them aphids up. I was like, wow. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
real quick, because if you get ladybugs, people think, oh, I'm gonna get. You need aphids. They need something to feed on, and you need to
Hmm.
put them out at night, or they're gonna just fly away because you ain't got nothing popping over here. I mean, that's a compliment and a good thing to have, but you just spent money on stuff that literally blew out your hands and flew away.
The naughty garden said, if nothing is eating your garden, is not part of the ecosystem.
It is not part of the ecosystem, and if I'm trying to be a part of the ecosystem, I always tell people when you go out there and you kill everything like that, you are gentrifying that guy. You
Hmm.
don't want to be in a gentrified area. Why would you want the like? We talk about gentrification and we come outside and be like, how dare they be out in nature with us? How dare these deer be in my yard? Like you took over their neighborhood.
That is so true. You know what I'm saying? Even when I grow a lot of houseplants too, so I have one room is my yoga room, and I have like everything in there. I got water in there, running water, like a little fall system. I even put some glow in the dark stickers on the ceiling so it can look like nighttime. I'm trying to build a
Ooh,
ecosystem in that room. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I put on the little TV in there and put like the nature sounds
little water sounds.
and
My
the
car
water
does
sounds.
that.
And I'm telling you, the flowers like and the plants in there, like they thrive. I have a humidifier in there as well, and I turn that on when the little sounds are going. This is it's crazy. I wish I could do my
Yeah.
whole house like that.
I be telling people all the time, like, my plants are happy. Like they're all blooming, like you said.
Yeah.
They're happy in this little environment, even though it's inside. So I love hearing that other people have ecosystems like
Yeah. And I think everybody should try to build one if they can,
definitely.
you know. Just do something small. Like my yoga room is kind of really small. So yeah, we have 1,000 plants in there. Grow lights in there. We have all types of grow lights in there. Like I said, we have a fish tank in there.
Oh,
That
see,
got
so do you
fish
use
in
the fish
there.
water? Because I keep saying I'm gonna get me a fish tank for fish
Oh,
water.
oh, you know what? We have turtles here in my house, and that water, them plants love it. Ugh, it's
I
disgusting.
bet. I'm gonna get me a pet rabbit for the same reasons too.
Yeah. It's disgusting. I have two turtles. Well, they were my mom turtles, and I kind of inherited those when she passed away. And I was gonna give them away at first, and then I was like, no. So I clean the tank every other week or whatever. And so I poured it outside underneath the cherry tree. Just think I got dump this poo poo water out, not thinking like, oh, it's gonna make the tree grow. I thought maybe it's gonna kill the tree. It's poop. You know what I'm saying? That tree went from 3 feet to about 8 feet now, and it's the most
Oh wow.
beautiful cherries on it ever. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I don't. I don't have a cherry tree yet.
Yeah.
That's on the goal for this year. Cherry and a pecan tree.
Oh, that's what I want. I want a pecan tree. I want a pecan tree.
I blame my son. He talked me out of it last year this time. We were coming through Georgia. Middle Georgia had tons. They were loaded with blossoms. Mom, you don't need any more trees. There's no room in this SUV. And I couldn't find one here, and I regret it. I'm so mad I did not get that pecan tree.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that pecan tree. Because I'm building something in the front yard. I don't have no space now in the backyard, so I got to go to the front yard. And I'm not gonna do no gardening in the front yard. I'm just gonna keep it beautiful and keep pretty flowers and all kinds of stuff. Like no, I gotta start moving towards the front yard. Um,
Yeah, that's medicine if nothing else. With everything going on right now, like all I want is to find good land. We're doing soil samples while we house hunt and be safe and plant my stuff. So yeah.
no, that's cute. So, the naughty garden said she has a huge cherry tree. Which kind of cherry tree do you have? I have the sour tart kind. They said it's excellent for making cherry pies, and I made my first cherry pie because they
You
balance out the sugar sweetness with the tartness of it. Just speaking. Okay.
my screen kept fading and I'm like, well, maybe it's because of it's not plugged in. And I didn't want to keep touching the screen. Okay. So what type does she have?
Oh, she didn't say yet.
Oh, okay.
Big Steel said, or somebody said, I saw the pic. I was wondering what plant was that. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but put it in the comments. Well, where do you spend most of your time in the garden?
I don't. Like I keep telling people, like they'll say, I don't have time for the garden. Baby, once you lay the foundation for that thing and it is established, you don't really have to do anything. In the summer, I do spend more time out there because it's so hot and everything is in containers. So we know that then it needs more water, especially in Georgia because it gets lit. Um, but in general, you set it and forget it. I go out once a week. I really don't see any pests because I do polyculture. So the pests don't know where my stuff is and I don't have it all together. And it's so many scents, they can't identify it. So other than if it's rain, if I need to water it, I don't go out there like that. I do sit down and walk out and do like a reset. I
Mm-hmm.
run out and I harvest. But as far as staying out there in the fall and in the winter, I don't have to. But in the summer, in the spring, it's tomatoes and peppers. That is where I spend most of my time in my containers, rearranging them and resetting them, and also cheating and getting me a few little squats in by picking them up and, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely like a good way to exercise or thinking you're not exercising.
Yeah,
Um, one of the one of my followers and maybe a follower of yours, the Seaside Gardener out in New York, he just posted a video of that Beyonce song where they like dropping it down low and he's like
yeah,
getting ready for the springtime, getting the squats ready
yeah.
for the springtime, and I thought that was a cool video.
Mm,
Um and because it does it, you got to lift those barrels up and pick up those wagons and shovels and
you
turn
do.
over that compost if you got a big compost that needs to be turned over. But
See, I messed up. Reason why I squat so hard now is like I said, I lost that 65 pounds. Hey, look, my feet went from a size 9 to a 6.5. My wedding ring went down 2 sizes. Y'all lost all my tail and all my top. I was just, my friend was like, what are you shaking? Ain't nothing back there. I was like, so now I'm like, I got to build up muscle. I can't just be losing this weight on accident. So I do my squats to keep me there too. I want to have Megan Denise in the garden at 60.
that's one of the videos that I love that you did on your platform was and I did this. You went to like, I'm not sure if it was the dollar store or the grocery store, but you got all this garlic powder and you was out there shaking the garlic powder in the yard.
Yeah, the garlic, yeah, the minced garlic. I
Yeah,
still
the
do
minced
garlic.
garlic powder. And I went to the dollar store and got a whole bunch, and the lady was like, "You need that much garlic powder?"
Yeah, you want to get the minced garlic itself instead of the powder, though. Yeah,
Okay.
the minced garlic, though.
I
But
think it
yeah,
was both.
right.
I got a couple of both of them to try, but she was like, "You need all that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I didn't tell her what I was doing, but the next day I went out there and started shaking.
Did it work?
It did work. It did work. And I noticed when I planted the garlic now, the regular garlic,
Yeah,
it definitely keeps the bugs away as well. So I try to strategically plant the
I put
garlic
it
in
everywhere.
between all my other vegetables so the bugs can kind of stay away from it too.
Yeah, because they hate the smell. I even now am so petty, y'all. I just got them sitting in random spots in the grass where it rains. And so now they're popping up and I keep tripping over them. But I don't have any mosquitoes for once.
Oh
So
yeah, I never have mosquitoes in my backyard. The front yard, that's a whole different story. But yeah, like that rosemary and basil and
yeah.
garlic and onions definitely keep the mosquitoes away. I always tell people you can come to my backyard and you could be butt naked if you want because you won't get bitten up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I couldn't do that when we first got to this house. I was just like, ain't no way we gonna stay here.
Yeah. And people be surprised. I'm like, no, come to my yard. Come and see. And they come and they'll come through the front. They was like, I was like, that's in the front yard. Come to the backyard. And like the mosquitoes are never there in the backyard. And we have 2 ponds here and I have a swimming pool. You know what I'm saying?
So
You would
you got breeding grounds.
yeah, you would think there would be a lot of mosquitoes, but it's not. You know, and around the ponds, I plant like lavender and basil
Oh,
just
that's a good one.
around the pools and the ponds, just so the bugs won't breed there. So
Yeah.
it definitely helps. Where do you buy your seeds from?
Well, I am a seed seller of my
Yeah.
um, but I buy my seeds from. Okay, let me tell y'all. Okay, so it's Black History Month. We roll into Woman History Month. Let me tell you my two riders: the Hood Garden and the okra lady, Shara. My backyard, Texas Garden, TX Garden, that's my gal. Trina at the Hood Garden, that's my gal, my ADHD accountability partner. What, you know, we keep each other on our toes because we, you know, some days it's neurodivergent stuff just happens. So, but those two are my go-tos. Also, Black Girl, is it Urban Garden? There's a few though, but yeah, I buy them from there. But for the most part, I buy my own seeds. I've saved my seeds. I have them packaged right now. I have a lot of winter and spring stuff, and then I'm loading gradually my summer stuff in as we speak. Plus some seeds that I'm going to be growing for this competition, and anybody wants to grow along with me, they can. So yeah.
What's up? How do you decide what you're gonna grow?
I like colors. I like new things. I like the idea that everything at the grocery store looks the same. And then when you find out that, wait, okra comes in pink and purple and orange, and wait, lettuce comes in with freckles and spots, and knowing that if I'm going to eat the vegetable anyway, and knowing that stuff that's like high in red color or purples has more of that anthracene or whatever it is, and it that gives me way more nutrients. If I'm gonna still eat the food, like I want to get the best impact and nutritional output from growing it and eating it as I can. And so that dictates it. And then I have themes like right now I got a Black Lives Matter garden going. So it's going to be all black and white stuff over there. And then I found some brown stuff to slide into, you know, for the culture.
Hey, what's up for the culture? I try to grow, well, I did grow my Black Lives Matter garden last year.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna I always say I'm not gonna use that company that I bought some of that stuff from because there was some fluky dookie seeds.
No, my germination rate when I buy stuff has to be, especially if I'm reselling, has to be at least 91%, at least.
Yeah. So
and
yeah.
I can always throw in like half as much, even more, just in case some aren't great.
But yeah, I did. What I had, I built a George Floyd walkway, and then
No way.
yeah, and so and you walked into it, and then you saw like all the black stuff that I was growing, jalapenos, the black jalapenos, black chickpeas actually worked really well for me. I didn't even know there was black chickpeas.
Yeah, the Trail of Tears beans are good.
Yeah, I did. Carrots, they did okay. The best thing that I grew was the black tomatoes that I purchased, which were really, really great, really, really sweet. One of the failures was black radishes.
I was about to ask you, how was the neuro radish? Because I knew that was going to be on there.
They didn't even turn black. They were white.
What?
Not to offend anybody, but they were white.
They were
I was like, maybe they gave me the wrong seeds. Like you can see like a little bit of it turning black, but they never turn black all the way.
Could it be this? You know, I read on some of them and they'll say, well, depending on your soil makeup, that dictates, or they'll be in shades of it. It's that kind of stuff that we all learned. It's like, it'll look a different color for you than it will for me. But I have that in my, that's what I was about to ask you, did you grow it? Because I have it. I don't even like radish. I grow radish just for the natural spacing of the garden and to loosen the soil, but they're going to be in there.
Yeah. Radish is like one of my favorite vegetables. People's like radish.
Really? Show me how to prepare it. Other than in the salad, I don't know what to do with it.
I do stir fry. I pickle it. Yeah, salads. Sometimes I juice it juice it with strawberries actually, and so it gives it like this spicy taste with the strawberries. I used to teach some kids, right? I used to teach in schools, in high school, and I used to make this spicy strawberry drink, and it will have radishes in it, and they was like, this tastes like pepper steak, and I was like,
pepper steak. I might like that.
That's what you think of it. And it was kind of like that. It was like pepper steak smoothie almost. It's kind of disgusting, but I was like, it's healthy, right? Come to find out, these kids now, they're like 23, 24 now. They all are vegetarians. They were not vegetarians then, or they are vegan. And they said I inspired them when I used to bring those nasty smoothies to school and let them sample it.
Out. Yeah.
And 3 of them worked for Turning Natural, which is a smoothie company here in DC, an all natural juice bar this black young lady started, and they all like work for them and manage those places. And they was like, thanks to you, I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian, I'm healthy now, I'm skinny. Look at me, I'm skinny. Like
Yeah,
some of them are like
got energy for
skinnier than me, and they were big people, big young people, which is really like it was eye opening for me to know that I'm making change
you make
every.
way. Yeah,
But
it's
someone said pickled radishes are delicious. They definitely are. But I do a lot. I mostly use them as stir fries though, like all kinds of stir fry cabbage when I'm stir frying cabbage.
I
Or
never considered
right,
putting them in a stir fry ever.
yeah. When my website comes up, one of the pictures that I have is me kissing some radishes because I love radishes so much, which is cool.
I never
Um,
knew. I never considered putting them in my stir fry. Like I'm mind blown right now. I'm at
yeah.
a point where I juice some things. Like I've learned the miracles of celery juice from growing so much on accident, just throwing them seeds and walking away. But I didn't never considered the radish for juicing or stir fries. So I'm gonna have to try that.
Try and also if you make your own sushi, it's good in sushi. Whether that's vegan sushi or regular sushi,
Yeah, I'll make that for them.
yeah, you could do that. Um, what is the hardest plant you ever try to grow?
Brussels sprouts. We be fighting. We don't fight for the reasons you think though. Cause like first I was like, oh, I'm gonna just throw it like everything else. No. Then I was like, oh, I can put it in a 1 gallon grow bag. No. Then I was just getting greedy because the leaves were so good. So I was eating out the leaves, so it wasn't enough to. But then for us, because of the seasons, I realized that my thing is I'm gonna have to start those early in the fall so it
Mm,
can germinate, but the cool weather will come. Because then I started them last time in February, and by May, when they were about ready, the heat had just taken them out again. So
yeah.
it's not really that it's hard. It's a matter of finding the timing and the stride. And I love pushing myself because I'm childish. I will put some okra in the ground in October and see what it do.
Oh yeah, I love some okra, and like you said, those colorful okras. This year I'm gonna grow. I think it's the pink ones this time.
Oh, the Okinawa pink is good and the Jing orange. Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna
it's
try the pink ones because I
good.
like color in the yard too. It's more inviting. It's more like I don't know. It just does something to your aura when you see colors and things. The greens are great, but like this can be boring sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the kids want to eat the other stuff
Oh yeah, they
more.
definitely want to eat the colorful stuff. Like I said, I still work in the school system. I just don't work in teaching anymore.
Yeah,
But we do have a school garden, and they was like, "Ooh, these purple things. What are these purple things? And what are these yellow
right.
things?" So they do love colors. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody should put more color in their yard.
We
Got
definitely
they say eat like the rainbow. Eat like the rainbow. Plant a rainbow. Somebody just said, eat a rainbow. Plant a rainbow. In your yard and eat.
matters. It definitely should. I really do agree with that. And from that, the same way you said with your students, it's the same with my son. He walks out there now and he just eats. I mean, I call it stealing from the cafeteria since he's homeschooled. But he just walks out there and eats like whole peppers off the tree like they're apples. He'll go out there and get the squash and cut it up and stir fry it himself. So definitely eat the rainbow and grow a variety of things because part of the issue is things like white watermelon are going extinct. Watermelon started off white, but as they cross pollinate with all this red and this commercial stuff, we end up losing these different things that we had at one time.
Yeah, I had white watermelon this year. It was so good. I only got one. I planted maybe two seeds because it wasn't a bunch of seeds in the pack. It was maybe
Yeah.
like so I was like, I'm gonna have to space these seeds out, you know. But I only got one, but it was well worth it. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was a big old vine and everything, but only one came on it. But it was so well worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, Go ahead. You had something to say to it? Did you
Oh
grow
no, I'm
white?
agreeing. Like, yeah, I love white watermelon. I love all the rare stuff. I love watching. Like, I do like Baker's Creek seeds because they go into they go into these villages and walk across Asia and get so much cool stuff that you're not gonna find everywhere else. And that's really what we're gonna have to go back to those old small town farmers, gardeners to get these seeds that they're steady popping up with that people have had for all these generations.
That's what's up. Someone said, "Do you have any tips on balcony gardening?"
Um, check your sun. balcony gardening is cool. It is great. Even in the winter, you can take like a clear tote and create your own greenhouse without poking anything in and do any water bottles. Flip that guy over. Now you got a greenhouse. It's warm. It's radiating heat forever. Be mindful however much space you have in your balcony. And grow things thoughtfully. And I say that same thing for raised beds. So say you do decide to grow corn, or you decide to grow watermelon on your balcony and you get good sun. Get you a bush watermelon versus one that vines, because a bush one can do great in a container and it's going to be just like 2 or 3 feet of vine short with all the fruit sitting on it. You want a bush tomato, you might want, a bush bean. You might want to get you a micro tomato that only grows 1 foot, but is indeterminate. So it just keeps producing, because some of that stuff is beautiful too, because your micro tomato, your habanero peppers, things of that nature can move from your balcony in the winter into your house on the kitchen counter and still thrive and keep going.
That's what's my little brother has a balcony garden, and he grows about 50% of his own food, and it's just balcony, and it's incredible. But like you said, get that bush watermelon plant, because my brother did do some squash stuff before, and the squash I always talk about the vine grew up to the neighbor's balcony.
Oh man, did you grow loofah?
Yeah, and the people, they were like some crazy people, because they complained, and then he got in trouble with the people run the condo space, and they said, we're not going to ask you to get rid of your garden, you just can't grow any viney stuff now. So now he got stuff that grows like the bush watermelon stuff. He even has like a peach tree and a apricot tree on his balcony. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you can grow up too. So like, even if you do like squash and zucchini and you think it needs a lot of space, it's technically a vine still. With those, you put them in a tomato cage and you just train it up. And as it grows, you just cut a little, and it will actually be fuller. Also, the beauty is you ain't got to worry about vine borers or risk of vine in different places having attacks from it. And it also will give you more wind, so you'll have more soil real estate. So yeah, but bush beans are great. Bush cucumbers are great. It's several things out there that you can do and grow multiple things. And lettuce.
Lettuce, definitely lettuce and spinach.
Lettuce and spinach,
yeah. I grew loofah for the very first time this year, and I did grow up on a string, actually.
Really?
I tied string. I have like a 6-foot, 7-foot fence in the backyard. My whole backyard is fenced in now, but I put like the strings on top of the very top of the fence, and I ran it down, and I staked it in the ground, and I put the loofah around that, and they actually grew up. It was very beautiful the way it looked.
Yeah.
How they grew up the string, but then I was like, I don't see no loofahs. Now these was Baker Creek. These was Baker Creek seeds, and I was like, there go another one that didn't do anything. And then around September, I went back out there, and it was thousands and thousands.
I was about to say, yeah, they take that one right there is like the sneak one. It takes forever, but when they get there, oh baby, they set.
Oh, yeah. It was I had about 25 to 30 loofahs.
No way.
Huge ones. And then I told my little brother, I'm going to eat one. And so I ate the little baby one.
Eat it?
Yeah, they said you can eat them. So I was like, I'm going to eat it and see what it tastes like. And I looked it up, and it was really, really, really good. But you got to get it when it's really young. It tastes like...
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Kind of like the birdhouse gourds.
Yeah, it tastes like a zucchini and a watermelon, so to speak, mixed together, which was really cool.
Okay, so question, since I never considered eating them, I just wanted to make up for that. Did the pests care about them, or did they leave them alone?
They leave them alone.
That's what I thought, because that's how it is with my cucuzza. All my other squash can get his butt handed, but that cucuzza doesn't care. They don't care about it. So I'm definitely going to grow this loofah. I'm selling it this year. I have hundreds of seeds I've already packed.
I'm definitely going to try to sell some too. I mean, eventually I will have my own seed line as well, Garden Dope. And I did my first round with some callaloo seeds, and I put them in. So it's going to be called Garden Dope. So I put them in little pill bottles. That's how I'm going to sell my seeds in little pill bottles, because it's Garden Dope, right?
Listen, I bought some little pill bottles for some of my seeds because they're so small. But then I was like, I hope they take this as like a scientific experiment and not like it's a bio. So you saying that is hilarious.
You know? So that's the go garden dope and then putting them in pill bottles. And yeah, that's what I do. But my next question is, what is your favorite vegetable to grow or in your garden that you cannot live without?
It is my peppers, and I didn't realize how much my bell peppers mattered to me until I didn't cover them up
Oh,
2 weeks ago and walked into the store, and even the green bell pepper, y'all, is like 129, and I was just like, how dare you? Just I regret that when I hear that little song now. I wish I had a time machine. That is what I think of each time. I should have covered them. I really love growing. I love growing bell peppers. Because I'm a Creole girl, so peppers, spices, all of that. The peppers is that because I make my own sauces. I'm a Tex-Mex girl too, so I do all those seasonings with them. I dehydrate them, I grind them down, and all. And there's something about the store ones just don't hit the same. When they say that when you grow it yourself, it tastes different, it is not an exaggeration.
it is
It's
so true, and I
not.
wish more people that look like us really get into that. You know what I'm saying? The taste of that first strawberry that I grew, I was blown away. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? That first pepper that I grew, that first eggplant, that first tomato, and I'm not even a big tomato fan. I like tomato sauce, but I don't like tomatoes.
I don't like tomatoes. And I always tell people I'm allergic when I was a kid. I hated tomatoes. I only grew tomatoes because my son loves them. And so when I tasted them, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'll eat tomato sauce, I'll do ketchup. But tomatoes were my jam. And then when I realized that they have over 10,000 varieties and they come in flavors and you can taste the pineapple in it, the citrus, and the what?
The pear.
Yeah, the purples and the yellows and the whites, and the texture is not, because tomatoes usually taste like water from the store. It
And
hits different.
they dyed them too.
You said they dye them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, they inject most of them. When you see them really, really red, they usually inject them with red dye, as well as strawberries too. If anybody ever gone to this grocery store and bought a thing of strawberries and they look so beautiful and so red, and
You
when
wipe them
you bite
off.
into it, it tastes like horrible. That's because they dyed them already, and it make them enticing for you to get them. You
Yep.
know.
I tell people that about the like apples and all.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Apples, they
harvest
put
them early.
wax. They put
Yeah.
wax on
They
them.
wax them and then they sit them in a room with nitrogen and pull out all the oxygen on the truck to last it. So you waxed it, you put glycerin in it, you harvested it before it was ripe, and then you set it in the truck for 6+ months in the back of my store, taking all the oxygen out and the nitrogen so it stays red and healthy and doesn't go ripe. Then you wonder why it got to your house and just went bad so fast, or why it lasted so long when the ones on the
Why
tree.
it lasted so long is the key. Is like I had that shit for 5 weeks. It's still
Yeah.
red and it hasn't done anything. I'm not gonna eat it now.
Ain't no way. It's just but like you said, when you taste this stuff for the first time, like I always tell people the thing that made me cry the most was tasting my muscadines.
Oh,
I
wow.
grew two type, but the fried grape one is like a giant white grape. I cried like, excuse my language, but that climax is amazing, and you cry. They're like, "Wait, did I do something wrong?" No, it's just so good.
Oh,
I
no.
was in that garden, y'all, just bawling. You gotta grow your own, man.
I had my first muscadines this year. They finally grew. And I mean, I ate them before I could get them in the house. I mean,
Yeah,
they were like the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we had two types. So we had the dark one where the seed kind of pops off and you eat, the skin comes. But that green one was better than white grapes. My son said it tastes like a pineapple and a mango put together.
that
That was
must
the
be
first
the
time I went viral on TikTok.
yeah, that must be the kind that I have. Like it tastes like a mango and a pineapple. I just bought it well, I worked for a big box store and they had them for like $3. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it. It's never gonna do anything. I put it on an arch in my backyard and it's been there for 2 years and last year was the first time it
Yeah.
actually used. And I was like blown away how great
Blown
they
away.
blown
I
up.
got mine from a big box store, and I got it on clearance too for like $5.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's what I do. So right now, my big box store, I say it's Home Depot. They have some discounted stuff right now. They usually discount it at the early beginning of the season, and then probably like March, mid March, April. Then they jack the prices back up.
yeah,
But right after, what I would say, right after 4th of July or Memorial Day, that's when the best time to go get some of that stuff for next season, y'all.
yeah, in our area because it's so warm for so long. Like in October, November, you pull up. So I'll go in there and get like Arctic kiwi marked down on the little, I call it plant death row. I'll pull up a plant death row and I'll go hit a few stores and get them for like $5, $3,
Yeah,
$2. Like
I have
I
kiwi. I bought
survived this.
kiwi. Oh, I bought a fig tree for like $1.
See,
Um, and
and
that
gardening
fig,
doesn't have to be expensive.
yeah, that fig tree produced for 2 years now. But this year was the first time it produced in the summertime, and it produced right around like September, October. And I was shocked that it did a second round. I don't know
Yeah,
how that happened. It just happened.
they produce all year long. My figs produce at
Yeah.
different times. So you'll as you keep going, you're gonna get more. Other than my brown turkey, he only does it once a year.
Okay. I think mine is a Chicago, and then I have a Celestial.
I got the Celeste. That one is so sweet.
Okay. That one hopefully this year will produce, but that Chicago one is like unbelievable. My little brother came over one time and he's just sitting there. Oh, I didn't know you had fig tree, just eating them, just keep pulling them. And it's nothing like pulling it off that tree and just eating it.
Feeling
You know,
it,
it's
yeah.
just crazy. And then he almost I said you're gonna eat everything up. And so this past Christmas, I got him his own fig tree. So next
See, like get your own, buddy. So
yeah.
yeah, I never ate figs. Like 90% of the stuff in my garden, I never ate until I grew it.
Yeah, that's me. I wasn't even a big pepper fan at one point, and now
Yeah,
all kinds
right.
of peppers, and I eat the peppers just like the tomatoes. I'm starting to eat more tomatoes, but I wasn't a big fan of tomatoes. Only like the tomato sauce and ketchup.
Yeah, it's the texture for me for pep tomatoes. That's why they're hard. At
Yeah,
least my autism. Like I don't like stuff if it's not firm or soft. So kiwis, tomatoes, bananas, I grow them, but they're not for me.
yeah. I grow passion fruit, and so I love passion fruit too.
Oh, I don't have one of those. I'm ordering that now too, and I want more. I have the pomegranate like you, but I
Yeah,
want the papayas.
yeah. I have a papaya. Um, and I wanted to get warm quick so I can put it outside. It's not doing too well, but yeah. I have a few more questions because I
Go
know
for it.
I started late because I thought your audio was jacked up.
Oh,
Um,
you're fine. I'm cool.
folks out there, folks, like when I ask is the audio right, just throw some thumbs in the room so I know that I got
Out
something.
there yelling.
Yeah, you know, I'm still working through this technical stuff, even though my degree is in television and radio and all that stuff. I know how to get on camera and produce and all that stuff, but sometimes I don't know that technical side. So,
Look, I'm gonna get some tutorials from you though, because like for this next
oh
part of
yeah,
the competition, I'm going to YouTube and I'm working on setting it up now. But y'all, I'm not good in front of the camera. Can't y'all tell with my ADHD? That camera be moving so fast.
and you know what? Last year was the first time I ever went live. What was it in June? And I said I was not going to do it. I'm too scared. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I always produce. I mean, I produce stuff for like BET and MTV, but I was never in front of the camera. And when I first got in front of the camera, I was like, I got to give me a co-host because I can't do it by myself. And that's what I did. It didn't work out too well, and then I had to get somebody else. But now I just love being in front of the camera. I want to be on live every day.
Now
Um,
listen, y'all. If you want to know the details behind that, next week we're gonna be releasing his podcast on the Maya Herbs podcast of
uh,
his interview, and you can get all the tea.
but yeah. Oh, and speaking of that, the podcast next Thursday is my first TEDx talk or whatever you want to call it at community college here in Northern Virginia, and I'm really excited. And so tomorrow I'll be working on what my speech is going to be about. A little bit what I told you on the podcast, but really more detail because now I am going to become a farmer. So I'm going to go from gardener to farmer, and I have some land now. and I'm gonna try to break ground on that this summer. Use like a half of acre of it, and then see what I could do with some college students.
Make
Um,
sure you get your farm number or do your
yeah,
Schedule F.
yes, I'm working through all that now, and I'm really excited. Um, but do you have a favorite trick or tip that you picked up along the way?
I don't compost in piles. Maybe because I'm down south, I can do this. But between the straw that I put at the bottom of all my containers to save me money on soil, I compost directly in bed. I know everybody wants to go to Uncle Fucky's or whoever, and he's out of worms. They're expensive. I take my stuff, I deal like a little trench. I chop up my vegetables or produce. Sometimes I just tuck them whole in there. And then I cover it with the soil. I go to the gas station, get a little pack of bait worms, red wigglers, $3. You get about 50 of them guys. And I just drop them through there. They lay eggs, they eat it up. Anything that grows along those lines, the richest, fullest, strongest plants ever. That's what I do.
That's what's up. I kind of do a combination of that compost. Well, I have a compost bin, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love to just throw stuff in the garden beds
Chop
and
and drop.
when
Yep.
it rains. So I have like this big living room set outside which has a carpet, and so when it rains sometimes I'll pull that carpet up and there's thousands of worms underneath that carpet.
Yeah,
And
like when I move my
grab those worms
plant.
and
Yeah.
just throw them in the flower pots or the strawberry barrels or whatever. So yeah, I do.
I love that. And I do that. And I've even shown one of my students and one of my military wives who were growing, like how to do that. And I was like, even if you get a little Dawn, just a little bit in some water, they can't breathe in the water. You wash it and flood it kind of like when it rains. And then they pop up to the top. And I let the kids just have fun picking them up and catching them all. Then we put them in some other places.
Yeah, that's what I do. So the next thing, eventually I'm gonna get a hold of this thing, but it's gonna pop up and it's gonna say the black table question of the week. So the black table question of the week is, let's talk about GMOs versus all those other seeds that's out there, because I know that's a topic that you love to talk about, and I cannot leave this space without you talking about GMO seeds and all that. Was the hybrid seeds and
Hybrids, heirlooms, all of that.
let's talk real quick about them.
The biggest misconception out there is that we can get GMOs. We cannot get GMOs, y'all. We cannot get GMOs. We are home gardeners. Walmart does not sell GMOs. The Dollar General, yes, it's owned by Monsanto, whose name got rid of, and so his name is Bayer now. Yes, Bayer are bad people back in the day, part of the Holocaust, all that jazz, and the Tylenol and all that, testing them on them. Yeah, they're not the greatest people. Yeah, they're part of the Roundup. They bought these heirloom seeds, but if you think that they are out here giving you heirloom seeds for a quarter, you got life all twisted up in the game. You need they go and they pay millions of dollars for patents, labs, scientists, and the likes. And you think they will walk out here and give it to you for a quarter? I did all this stuff, and now I'm going to give it to the average home gardener who's then going to go and share my secret miracle recipe with the world for free. It doesn't make sense. Anybody who has GMOs has a contract. One part of that contract says they will not save the seeds. Also, the seeds don't even have the same shelf life, y'all. So it's not viable for like a year. They grow those. Yes, they're GMOs. Yes, America's one of the top producers, but most of the GMOs we have are like corn and for canola oil and things of that nature and soy. So yes, it's a big bad wolf out here. Yes, GMOs exist. Do you have access to them like you think you do? You don't. Most people have non-GMO on their stuff because one person did it. It's just like when you started saying, oh, I got celiac disease, you started seeing gluten-free. All of a sudden, you started seeing gluten-free on everything, like bottled water. Like, why would you have gluten-free on bottle? It's water. So it's the same thing. I have to put non-GMO on my seeds because people think the GMOs are just so accessible. They are not. It is a secret club. It is very expensive. It is very technical. You can't get them like that. Now, on the other end, people will say, well, if it's genetically modified, that means even if it's a cross, everything you eat is a cross of something. Watermelon were originally white. They came from bitter melons. We did not have bananas like this. If they wouldn't have crossed that banana and made the Cavendish, bananas would not exist in the world anymore because of the Pharsalium wilt or whatever that took them out. Pineapples, these are all man-made things we have crossed. You would not have tangelos, grapefruit, nut lemons, limes,
Nectarines.
none of that. We only had 3 citrus starting off in the Himalayas: citron, pomelo, and a mandarin. That was it. They have all crossed to make these different things that make these different things. We have created our diet. And although there's thousands and thousands of food, the world mainly eats only 20 types. Your brassicas. Hybrids are not bad. And if you hear, oh, well, you want an heirloom, because the heirloom, at least you know what it is from generation to generation. That sounds great, but what you miss is even the heirlooms at one time were hybrids. An heirloom is only a stabilized hybrid, almost like a race. So like if you, I might go out of my way, but
Go ahead.
Asian
This is
people
our
will
safe
tell
space.
you that they came from Black people. The people who really, the yellow people will tell you. And even the DNA shows that they did not come from the other Homo sapiens. They came from us. And that's how they got there. That's why the textures, the hair, and all that. And it makes sense based on the way the world was shaped. It is the same thing with that. It is now a stabilized race. You see that even with the people in Australia. It's the same thing with these vegetables and these fruit. They just became stabilized. They didn't look like that at first. But it's nothing bad about having a hybrid, because hybrids then mean sometimes that I like the way my one plant grows. Like I had one tomato, you know, most tomatoes, they just drop the little tomatoes on the sides. Well, then I had this one seed that it would drop tomatoes on the sides like this. And right at the end of the vine where the tomatoes were in, another leaf will grow and it would go back to growing. Why wouldn't I want to breed that with all these other ones so that I can have like this endless supply? That's all it is, y'all. Hybrids are not bad. We mix kids and races all the time. Are we calling them bad? If you say it don't have seeds in it, it's bad. That doesn't make sense to me. We got barren people out here. Are they bad? It's against God if it doesn't have seeds. God. So everybody who doesn't have seeds in their body, they're bad. That doesn't even make sense. You're just misunderstanding it. And when you say those things, it is very dangerous, because you're reading these memes and you're sharing it and you're not understanding. Well, how did it get seeds? Well, how do you create more? I, again, made it with one that has seeds. And the gag is, even your seedless watermelon has seeds in it. It's those little white slits. You just don't realize they weren't fertilized. Just like me as a woman shedding fucking eggs every month.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
Sorry.
No, and I wanted you to go off on the tangent.
Tried to do it fast.
No, because we all need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? We do need to hear it. The seedless ones, there was a seed at some point in time, and like you said, those little white thingies or those white things, those are the seeds. They just didn't get fertilized.
Fertilized. That was it. That was it. It was aborted. And it's the same thing we call when a woman has a miscarriage. The definition is a spontaneous abortion. It was just a spontaneous abortion in the fruit. The mom may not bear fruit, but the dad does, or vice versa. Because even with those that are seedless, they will tell you, grow them in a greenhouse. The reason you grow them in a greenhouse is so that a pollinator doesn't accidentally roll up on them and fertilize them, because you will end up with seeds again.
Exactly. And it doesn't take that much to those pollinators to fall into it. You know? And that's how we got those nectarines and all those other different things, because they was cross-pollinating.
They were cross-pollinated. And sometimes as farmers, we find something, like I said, that one tomato I love. If I find that this one vine of watermelon grew all this amazing stuff, and you guys like the taste of it, or it was just the era, basically, and went barren, and I decided to keep cross-pollinating with it, you're looking at me like I'm a bad person for that, and that doesn't make sense. It's just nature.
Just nature. It happens all the time. Like you said, we cross-pollinate with kids. Our kids, when we have, different races that we're in love with or fall in love with.
Yeah.
Baby
with our health condition.
Same thing. The dogs. Let's talk about like dogs, when dogs mutate other dogs. It's
that part.
It's the same thing. The poodle and the poodle and the golden retriever now. They call them golden
doodle, right? And now it's a stabilized hybrid. It's now dictated to be a pedigree. That is all we're talking about, y'all. If you're okay with a golden doodle, you should be okay with some broccoli.
You should be good with, and even that pink pineapple that they have out now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if one is a fluke, but I see that fluke, then I can go from there and I can create more. But we're just not aware. And on top of that, we got to normalize not throwing seeds away, because you would be more aware of that if that was the case. But we throw seeds away left and right, y'all. We make a bell pepper, we cut it open, we throw all them
Throw
seeds
those
out.
seeds away. Throw it right in the trash.
Normalize saving seeds.
Or throw them in the garbage disposal.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
my last and final question. What are your future plans for Garden Under Influence or Erica Plant or Plant and Heal? What is the future?
Okay, so Erica plans Plant and Heal future. At this point, I'm claiming that this competition that I can't announce yet, I win at least that 1 Bitcoin or those 5 acres of organic land that will be deeded to me, so that I can open this CSA and give food freedom. Because people don't realize that the next wave, if nothing else, this pandemic has taught us, localism is coming back. We have to go back to it. You cannot be waiting weeks and months for shipments to arrive. Farmers markets will become the new plug again. CSAs will have to be. You, on top of that, as gas and prices go up, and you argue that my prices of food goes up because of the gas, I'm gonna get it more local. And the prime example is Amazon. Amazon got an office outside, a building outside of all our towns, dropping off stuff every day in one day. They done bought out the grocery stores. People missed the plug. Localism is next. And so that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to work on CSAs. But my main thing will be, one plan is to go to the middle Georgia, Talbot County and the likes. There are food deserts that are traumatically, where I roll up when I taught there and ran counties for the University of Georgia. All the elders have no legs. There is no food there. The only store there is a Family Dollar. You tell me what you can get from a Family Dollar other than processed food, and the next grocery store is 25 miles away. So my vision is to both make it accessible, grow it here, make that money, use the capital of that, and have an actual food truck that pops up in these rural communities, both sells them seeds, sells them plant starts, but also gives workshops literally right there off the truck on how to plant it and maintain it. True organic food, healthy, whole food is supposed to be accessible to everybody. It should not be a privilege. It should not. And I'm
Okay.
tired of seeing my people being not even food deserts, they call them. Baby, this is a food apartheid. The people got up and left the grocery store because one person got injured and sued. You retaliated on the whole community. I'm just here making it accessible to both low income people of these food apartheids and military families. Because why is it a cap? We're not rich. I have friends who live in RVs. Husbands in the army, they serve in the country, they live in an RV. So my goal is to make whole organic food accessible, whether it's you grow it or I bring it to you or I empower you, because we have to get back to our roots of knowing where our food comes from and trusting it, because you can't have no peace of mind about feeding your kids healthy food if somewhere in the back of your mind and your heart, you don't trust what's being fed or shoved to you because of all the other misdeeds and bad things that have occurred. I'm
Amen.
done. I was about to start crying, so let's
I
go.
know. Amen to that. I was gonna say that. Let's go.
I got it.
Amen to that. I feel that and I receive that. And I hope everybody out there receive that. And go back out there and tell your other people that you know that's not growing food the same thing that she just
Yeah.
said. Go back and watch this
Tell
later
a person,
on
tell
and
a
write
person.
down everything she just said and preach that to the people in your community so we can, we can do this.
We can
It's
change it. And I have a youth development
we
with
have
4-H
power. It's
company.
power in people, and we gotta change it. We
We
gotta
have to.
and
We,
our thought patterns. And those people that want to eat McDonald's all the time, we gotta snatch that McDonald's from them and give them a carrot, give them a piece of celery, and say, "Eat.
yeah.
I grew this. Eat it."
Yeah, like no shade to nobody, but the whole fact that when y'all say whatever y'all, oh, I don't trust it, I don't know what's in it, but you know what's in this, and you know it's still not meaning you know good, but you eat that.
Yeah,
Like we can't trust part of the system, not the whole system. You don't trust the seeds, you shouldn't trust the water, you shouldn't trust this. You got to move different. This is a year of discernment, and I hope with everything that's happened in this pandemic that people aren't just so desperate to go back to normal that they miss it. and
Yes.
they end up at a deficit. Because if these truckers show up how they want to and act up, and these nurses put their feet down how they want to, what you gonna do? You thought toilet paper was funny. Wait, just
I
wait.
know. Wait, wait.
Just wait.
So yeah, if you want to know what's growing in my yard, come to my yard and I'll give you some. You can see. Yeah, there's no dog poop in the fertilizer. Just come and just come. There's
Just
no human poop out there either. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, just
Come.
pull up on me. Yeah.
Yeah, pull up on both of us.
Yes.
And see what's going on. But Erica Flanch, Garner Influence, it has been real this morning. It has been real.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be late for work because I want to keep on
I'm
talking.
sorry. Like
No,
I
it's all
enjoyed
good.
this.
It's all good. I love it. I thank you for joining me this morning and dropping the knowledge.
Yeah, and you keep doing what you're doing. You are needed in this community. And just wait, y'all. When we go back to this old school College Hill, Gardening Beat's gonna be next. You're gonna be having these talks. It's coming. Just wait. Y'all just wait.
It's coming. Oh, so everybody, word up. Tomorrow, I'm doing it again with Andre the Farmer. If you thought Erica Plants was the bomb, wait till you see Andre the Farmer.
Yes.
Is going to be off the chain too, dropping all the knowledge. And then
Yes.
next week, I got Erica's favorite too. Farmer Brown, the MC, is coming to.
Oh, Farmer Brown about to be dropping them bars. Yes. And you
Yeah.
attention too.
So
I love
yeah,
it.
it's gonna be great. And then following up that is a guy named Ronnie Webb that's coming at the end of the month. And then March, y'all, is gonna be Women History Month. And every Saturday and Sunday, it's gonna be all women farmers and all women gardeners.
Yeah.
I mean, telling it like it is. And also on my Thursday show, New Soul Thursday, it's gonna be all women too. And some of those women gonna be talking about their music and they have gardens too. So we're gonna be talking music and gardening on New Soul Thursdays as well. But Erica, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you get out of here. And I always leave with this: live your life healthy, free from negativity, and as always, you gotta stay dope, y'all. All right, peace.
That's a good one.
All right.